Good afternoon. I'm Amy Rylander. I'm the Assistant Director of Engagement with the Baylor University Career Center. That simply means that I engage with a lot of people day in and day out, which means students, parents, employers, faculty, and anybody else that I run into. So you'll get used to hearing from me. I've been with the Career Center now for 7 years after I relocated here from Lower Alabama. Over here to my right, this is Shelby Separati-Burton, my partner in crime. She directs all things marketing in the Career Center. She has been with us for about 3.5 years. So we spend a lot of time with each other, and students tend to know us really well. Sometimes they go running across campus the other way when they see us. So let me tell you a little bit more about his career success starts now. Why do we say that, Shelby? Well, Amy, okay, we're going to tell you. The mission of the Baylor University Career Center is to ensure that each student has the opportunity and support to achieve their career potential. And if you think about the size of Baylor, so first of all, as you know, we have the largest incoming freshman class in history, which means we have about 16,000 students who will be on our campus in August. So you've met a few of us. There are 26 of us in the office. So how are we able to do this with so few people and so many students? Well, I'll tell you, we do that strategically. So here's how we're set apart. I told you earlier that Amy handles all the sciences. She has a group of 4 people who work with her in the sciences and health related, also in social work and some of those fields. I head up a team of 5 other individuals. We handle all of liberal arts, education, part of Robbins College, the artsy part, and music. We also have, when I pointed out Emily, she works on the computer science and engineering part, and then we have a whole staff dedicated just to business school students. The reason we do this is twofold. You'll notice this first point on here, we call it, say, a student-centered approach. If we weren't split up in teams, it would probably be a little more difficult for us to get to know our students and give that kind of approach. I told you the story of the 2 Trevors. They were my students. Well, one was liberal arts and one was sciences. But because we're split up in these teams, we are strategically able to meet our students, get to know them, understand what they want to do, because strangely enough, statistically speaking, you could say, you probably have a lot of similarities in a lot of students, but just from experience, I know in 16,000 students, it's very hard to find 2 that are exactly alike and want the exact same thing out of a career. So let's talk about that for a second. How many students do I have in here that just know that you're going to go to grad school after graduation from undergrad? Okay, probably some pre-med, law school. Yes, okay. How many of you all are very attached to wanting to find the best paying salary after undergrad so you get off your parents' payroll and on your own? How many parents do you guys have? I always have that one dad. Right, yeah, raise your hand. So each student is different. So by splitting us up into different teams, not only do we get to know the students, but we also understand what students like to do after school in those majors, after they graduate. Example, Amy and I were on a call today talking about the students who want to go to grad school. Well, because all the data we have in our office, we know which schools and which programs they typically go to, so that we can host an event related for those students looking at grad schools. Conversely, we also know what our students want to do job-wise historically, so we're able to target those employers, bring them on campus, connect our students with those employers, and we know where we can help take you. Did I lost anything on this one? Okay. So you might be thinking, why are we thinking about this career stuff so early? So 4 years ago, raise your hand if you were a freshman in high school. Hi, right? When you were a freshman in high school and it was August and you were getting your outfit ready to go the next day, how long did you think it would be before you graduated from high school? And then the reality set in, and what happened? You graduated. It went fast, right? Parents, y'all remember how fast college went by? Do you remember how fast college went? It flew. I remember sitting in my dorm room going, I graduate next semester? What? I have to leave? Yes. So that's why we start working on it so early, because we want to make sure that you're starting on time. Don't I need to adjust to college first before thinking about this? This is one of the #1 things I hear from parents. Aiden's laughing, she hears it too. We do have parents that call us. It's really interesting. But do I need to adjust? Going to the Career Center is part of your college adjustment. Once you hit the real world, you're going to be using your resources and using them wisely. One of the greatest resources that Baylor gives you on this campus is a group of professionals that are going to help put you into the next part of your life. And we are part of your tuition. We are no extra charge. Use your resources. We are your resources. What if I don't know my major yet? Who does not know their major yet? And it's okay. Awesome! How many moms and dads changed your majors 20 times in college? Okay, the first year, right? It's okay if you don't know your major. You are not tied into any one thing right now anyway. The things that we're going to have you start doing as a freshman, it goes for you no matter what your major or what your year. We're going to get those things knocked out first, okay? Isn't this something I need to think about when I'm a senior? Maybe. Here's why I say that. Have you ever thought you're going to get to your senior year and it might be more fun your senior year to really enjoy your friends and the Baylor experience your senior year? You don't have to lie. Yeah, it'd be more fun, right? Okay, yeah, don't hide that. That's a great one. The earlier you start on your career, the easier it's going to be, and all of a sudden you don't get to your senior year and you don't say, oh, what am I going to do? Because you probably already have something. Point in case. Students that get an internship, their sophomores and junior years, most often come back to campus by the start of their senior year with a job offer. How cool would it be to start your senior year in August with a full-on job offer? You don't have to think about it. It's one less thing to think about. You can focus on grades, you can focus on everything else. Another point in this, I'll just give you a great example. Any computer science or engineering students in here? Yes. Listen, this is a beautiful, beautiful thing that happened. Last year, 2020, in a pandemic, the news told us, oh my goodness, all the internships are being canceled. That was partially true. All the jobs are canceled. That was not true. But the internship part, we had 4 students in engineering and computer science that had an internship that got canceled. But the company had done so well interviewing these students beforehand that they said, we're going to cancel your internship, but you already have a full-time job. So junior and senior year, they were done. Pretty cool place to be. So don't just think about it when you're a senior, think about it now. Here's the stat we have. 83% of Baylor students that use the Career Center are in jobs or graduate school within 90 days of graduation. So dads that were excited about their kids getting off the payroll, 3 months after grad, you get your money back, right? It gets back in your pocket. I'm an empty nester. My daughter's a junior. She will have a job next May when she graduates. Yeah. Now, let's go a step further with this. 91% of the students that start working with us as freshmen are in jobs or graduate school within 90 days of graduation. Wouldn't you love to be in that 91%? Parents, wouldn't you love your students to be in that 91%? Encourage them to come see us early and often. Okay. So now that I've told you we can get you success, what are those 4 things, no matter what your major, no matter how many times you change your major, no matter what, are we going to ask you to do? We've made it easy, right, Shelby? Yep. Absolutely. 4 things. If you look inside your folder on the left-hand side, there's this square fold out that comes out about this big. maybe this big, and it's got 4 different things on there. You can follow there, you can take the QR code and get to our website where it's got all this information. This is so important, we put it in multiple places for you. 4 things: handshake, assessment, resume, and appointment. And I'll go through and tell you what each one of those really means. Okay, handshake profile. Has anyone ever heard of handshake before? Oh, good, you've heard it. Awesome. I'm not going to put you on the spot and start asking you questions. But it is the premier career resources that we use at Baylor University. And what that means is it's a job board on one hand, but it's also a resource board on the other. Every single student here in this room has an active handshake account as of today. So you will be able, isn't that exciting? We gave you an account already today. So what we want you to do with this is we want you to go in and complete your profile. It's really no harder than completing a Facebook profile, but you guys are probably far ahead of Facebook. Things do Instagram and TikTok and all that, so we'll go to that. Once you get your profile completed, you'll be able to go in and you'll be able to see resources that you need. Resume templates, potential questions that employers will ask, all kinds of resources that will be great in your career search. You'll also be updated with information on when certain employers that you might be interested in are coming to campus. And it's a great thing to go and see the employers when they're on campus in a small setting. Maybe ask a few questions because they'll remember you. You'll also be informed of when the big career fairs are. We have 2 each year, one in the fall, one in the spring. Additionally, you'll be able to sign up for appointments with your career success professional. More on that in a minute. By the way, last April, there was this ball game. Perhaps you saw it. It was the men's national championship game, right? Woohoo! Right? So my mother and I watched it together. It's fun watching an 81-year-old cheer on basketball. But anyway, and I said, so we're the national champions of that and acro and a dozen other sports. We are also the national champions of handshake usage. Of all the universities in the U.S. that use handshake, which is the majority of them, 84% of our Baylor students use handshake actively. So pretty big. I think the next one's about 35%. So anyway. Second thing we want you to do is we want you to complete a career assessment. Why? I don't know what I want to do. That's exactly why. Super Strong is a career assessment that we use. You give it to yourself, it's fine. It's going to ask you a few questions, and it's going to give you some ideas about career paths you might want to look at and you might be interested in. Not only is it going to kind of give you the generalities, but if you drill down in that information, it actually tells you job titles you might want to start looking at upon graduation. And if you're really driven by what those job titles pay, it will give you potential salaries and what you can make in those job positions. So this is the second thing you'll do. You'll be able to go through and do that yourself this summer. It'll take you about an hour, just so you know. Third thing, who has a resume? Hands high, don't be shy. Okay, who has a great resume? There's usually a dad or two that raises their hands. Okay. Who has ever Googled the words resume template and gotten like 10 million options, right? We've all done that. Which one do you choose? We've made it easy. Of course we have. We have a resume template that we worked with many employers on our campus, or who come on campus, and they like the look of the resume. It gets through their automated systems, which is hugely important. If you've ever applied for a job and heard nothing but crickets, it's because the resume probably didn't get through the system. Employers like it, we recommend it. And so the way we're going to get you in that, you can do it one of 2 ways, but I'm going to give it to you the easy way. We use a piece of software called Upkey. And you'll log into this, you'll let them know you're with Baylor, and it's going to ask you questions. It's going to ask you about your experience. It's going to ask you about your education. It's going to ask you about volunteer work and all of those things. And once you submit, it is going to give you the resume in the Baylor recommended employer approved template that I was telling you about. So you don't have to worry about margins. You don't have to worry about spacing or any of that. Just go plug it in. This will probably take you a little longer. It's going to take you an hour and a half, maybe. Still not a bad deal for a great resume, right? So that'll be your starting point. So far, all I've asked you to do is spend about an hour on Handshake, setting up your profile, about an hour on Super Strong, just filling out a questionnaire and figuring out what it is you might want to do, and then an hour to an hour and a half on Upkey. So we're 3.5 hours in. Does anyone have 3.5 hours to spend this summer? Easy? Probably next week after line camp is over because you're going to be worn out. You're going to love it, but you're going to be worn out. Okay. The fourth thing we want you to do, and you can either do this before you get back to school through Zoom, or you can wait until you get here, we want you to make an appointment. So you know how the dentist always makes you do 2 appointments a year? Well, your freshman year, you get a break. We're better than the dentist one time. One time is all we need to see you, just to check in on you. We want you to make an appointment with your career success professional. And how do you do that? Go into Handshake. Anytime in Handshake, if you can't figure out what to do, there's a green button that says Career Center. Just go to that button. You will find what you need. Once you get to that, it'll say, make an appointment. And up will pop the people who work with majors like you. For our undecided friend, there's a whole bunch of people who work with undecided majors. So it doesn't matter who you go to, but you will find somebody. You'll be able to pick that person and set 30 minutes. And what they're going to do is just talk to you a little bit about your Super Strong results. And they're going to talk with you a little about your resume that you did at Upkey. Maybe talk to you about your Handshake profile and just kind of see who you are. That's all we need to do your first year. That appointment will take 30 minutes. So what, we're 4 hours in, Amy? 4 hours. Painless, right? And then you can be in that 91%. That's where we want you to be. There's never been a better time to engage in your future than right now, at the beginning of it all. And you know that shirt you got in the mail when you accepted the Baylor and said, I know where I'm going? We'll reward you. We like to give away swag. Shelby loves to give away swag. And these were just 7 of our students that just graduated in May. Remember I told you the tale of the 2 Trevors? That's Trevor's last. We'll give you the shirt that says, I know where I'm going next. Can anyone spot the apparel design major? For real, she took 2 shirts and said, I need to create something, so she did. Okay. One more thing I did not tell you. It does not matter where you are on campus. We have an office close by. So, for the business school, do we have business majors in here? Okay, great. You've already been in the business school today. On the first floor, over there in the corner that goes, you can see East Village, which is excellent, excellent grilled cheese sandwiches and soup, I'm just saying. It's over there in that corner, so your career center is there. And my engineering major, your career center is on the 3rd floor of Rogers, so Emily and Tom will be there at all times. For the rest of you, there's another building called Sid Richardson. It's right behind here. It's a red brick. That's where the rest of us are, and that's where the bulk of the students can come, right in the middle of the campus. So wherever you are, we're going to be there.